Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today. My name is Jeff Pauline. I'm a product manager here at CATS, and we have a little bit of a special session here with our webinars today. We're talking about the Top Echelon Network. For those of you that don't know, CATS was acquired by Top Echelon back in 2020. So we've been, making efforts over the past few years to kind of combine the two softwares to get people interested in, potentially moving to Top Echelon, or at the very least, joining the Top Echelon network. We did build an integration to the Top Echelon network into CATS, so it's available for you to use now. So we're not gonna talk about that much today. We're just really gonna talk about what is the Top Echelon Network, how it can benefit you and your business. And we have our Director of Network Operations, Drea Codispoti, on the line, and then a network member, Shree Kumar, as well. They'll kind of be going through a short presentation on the benefits of the network and how it can help you and your business. And we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end, but feel free to throw questions in as we go along. I'll be trying to answer them. If I can't answer them, then we'll have the specialists here, Drea and Shree, answer them afterwards. But it looks like we have a good amount of people. Usually I wait for people to join, but we've got a good number of people here now. So I'm just going to go ahead and kick it off and pass it to Drea. He's going to tell you about himself and everything, and yeah, you guys are in good hands, so sit tight. And hello, Drea.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, and I love doing these because I love talking about Top Echelon Network. I've been with the company for almost 20 years. In June, I'll celebrate my 20th year here, and about 18 of those years I've been in charge of running this absolutely fantastic network community of recruiters. And if you would have asked me when I was a child, what did you want to be when you grow up? And I knew that this was a thing, I would have said this: I want to run a network. But if you would ask me then, I wanted to be Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. That didn't work out for some reason, but that's just me. So the network itself is a community, and we're going to go through a few slides here, and I'm going to talk about some of the highlights and get into some of the things that the network really is to our members. And I say this with all this is all based on my experience over the decades of working with the members and working with the network and watching it grow and watching it change people's businesses. And so when I get into some of those things here, so this unlock the power of partnership and productivity. We all know that the more support we have in a team situation and with partners, the better you can be for your clients, or the better we can be as a whole, and to whomever we're providing services to. And so the network facilitates that in quite a few areas. But first of all, who are we? We've been around since 1988, where we were established right here in Canton, Ohio. And we've been, we started out all on paper. When this started in 1988 of February, I think it was the 18th, was the first day of us being in business. It was all paper. So when you joined and you said, I work finance and accounting, or I work manufacturing and engineering, you were tagged with that, and every week you would receive resumes and jobs in paper format in vanilla envelopes through the US mail that would give you the week's new jobs. And as we grew as a network of people across the country in different industries, software became a thing that people would use for business. And so we created software. And so we went from being basically a printing company of providing a service to a software service, moving from Windows systems and sending out floppy disks of both the large ones and the small ones. And if anyone's here that's old enough to remember the 5.5-inch disks, and then those smaller ones, the 3.5-inch disks, You just date it yourself. So, but we would send out all the information and through those methods. And as methods increased as far as technology, we changed as well. So now here we are as this software company providing executive TE recruit services, which is our ATS, and which has become our main flagship product. Actually, it has grown so much in the past 20 years of me being here that it's just become a beast of a machine, and so many people use it to run their business. But also then there's the network, which is a more exclusive area. There's a qualification process where we interview those agencies that look like they are qualified for our to participate in the network, because not every agency is. So we do that for the reason of basically protecting everyone, that the individuals that are a part of the network have an understanding of how to operate in an ethical fashion, and they've run a desk to know the intricacies of the recruiting business, because as you all know, you're all in that business, and that it is a very tricky and ever constantly changing environment. And so we're cautious on the individuals that we bring into this community. And the average size is 2.5 recruiters per office. Now, we do have some agencies that have 10 or 15 recruiters in their offices. They're kind of on the outskirts of the norm, but they still function very well here. And the form of recruiting that they do is basically on a contingency basis, where they're working on 20 to 25% fees with their clients, and the average guarantee is around 90 days. The locations here that we mostly see primarily are the continental U.S., United States, America, and we've been moving into Canada as of the past couple of years. So we do have some people in Canada as well working, and they work both sides of the fence. They work some roles in Canada, and they work some roles here in the U.S. And we're glad to have them and watch ourselves grow in these methods. So here, as far as what do we do, what are the recruiters doing here in the network? Manufacturing and engineering, accounting and finance, biotech and pharma, healthcare, information tech, sales, marketing, and our newest kid on the block as far as industries is legal, where over the years we really didn't see much legal, but as of about I'd say the middle of second quarter of last year to now, we're averaging around 200 legal jobs in the network at this time, which is fantastic. And we have a great contingency of recruiters who are working that, and so that's one of the little neighborhoods in the community that is growing. So you can see the number of placements that we've made and the size that we are and how long we've been in business. It kind of gives us basically an anchor of who we are to the community of recruiting. So the numbers, recruiters are always interested in numbers because it makes a difference. So I have the average information here, right? The average salary is 105,000. The average placement fee is 21,000. On average, we have 880 jobs added to the network per month. And on that note, those jobs, when a job is entered into the system, it has a lifespan of 90 days. So it's not lingering there, and we don't have jobs that have been in here since, 3-4 years ago. If you don't edit or update that job, it gets pulled from the system. That way the members don't waste their time on working on a dead job. Because of the way that our systems are designed, and there is really a community concept here, the candidates that are shared are searchable. So on average, we have 70,000 candidates added into the network candidate database each month. And that is very accurate, which it was a little down, which is why that number is where it is. This past year, we went back to 2023, the average was about 89 to 90,000 candidates per month, but things were cooking a little bit differently. And up to this day, we've done over $330 million in placements in Top Echelon. That is what our recruiters have taken home. So other than being a part of a community, of recruiters who share jobs and share candidates with each other. There's other things that you can do with the network, because remember, it is a community. And with a community, you have these relationships that you build with others. And a lot of that happens from attending conferences, which I'll get into in a little bit. But some recruiters, they connect on levels that aren't niche related, where they've met at a conference and they share similar ideas on business strategies. And this is a trusted, these people become trusted sounding boards to everyone, to the people that they build relationships with. It's extremely important to them in their business. And so the network is associated with that, where they see the network as this place where they can build these relationships with these other experienced recruiters and have very high level conversations on strategy and deal with the challenges that recruiting kind of throws at you on a regular basis. So it's nice to be able to talk to someone who's kind of in the foxhole with you. One of the other things is, what can I do other than make split placements in this network? Because the network itself is a way for you to, you can leverage it when you're doing business development. And so how you're doing that, and we would gladly show you this in a demo or training, but how you do that is when you're on the phone with a potential client and you're trying to engage them and they want to hear numbers from you. They're going to say, well, what can you do for me? And while you're asking them what are those hot buttons are, those needs, you're able to search through the network candidate database to see what candidates have recently been added that actually match their current needs. So whereas opposed to when you have 70,000 candidates on average being added in a month's time, it's very likely that candidates that are being added in that month's time could be potential fits for those clients' needs. And so when you start throwing numbers around, well, I've got 3,000 people that I could start marketing to about your job right now, I think you can really bend the ear a little bit of the client that you're speaking with, and you have more leverage to gain their business and get them to sign your contract. And so I've seen many people do that, and it is successful and it works because it is a different level and a dimension of what the network can do for you. So right now I'm going to bring in Shree Kumar, who's a dear friend of ours and been a member since 2017. You can see her stats there. And I just wanted to bring someone in because I could talk about it all day long because I'm very passionate about it, because I've seen what it can do for people's business. But I think it's important for others to hear from recruiters who have actually done it and been a part of this. So Shree, say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shree Kumar, and I'm with Max Populi, based out of Pittsburgh. How's everyone today? Hopefully not too cold like we are.
It was 4 here this morning. I don't know about what it was in Pittsburgh, but it was 4 degrees in my truck.
I stopped actually looking at the weather because it doesn't matter to me. I'm hibernating right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for the opportunity, Drea. It's always a pleasure, to talk about the network. Um, so I can't believe I've been with the network since 2017. That's really awesome. Um, so prior to this, obviously we were a standalone agency. We had probably 5 recruiters, and we were trying to fill all kinds of positions across different domains. And then when I heard about the opportunity to join a network which could potentially expand our business, fourfold or fivefold without really adding um, recruiters or sourcers, it kind of piqued my interest. So that's how I got really involved in the Top Echelon Network, and it was such an amazing experience, and it was probably the best thing we've done for our business in terms of growing it. Um, and I can tell you that without Top Echelon, a network like Top Echelon, we probably would not have been able to expand the domains that we work and also the geographies that we support currently today.
Shree, when you joined the network, did you feel as if you were, you know, welcomed into a community?
Absolutely. So the way I looked at the network is, it's not what the network can do for you, right? It's also how can you develop those connections. It goes both ways. But every time I reached out to somebody who I thought could be a potential partner, they were obviously very open to the idea. And the reason is because they're in the network for the same, purpose, right? They want to connect with like-minded recruiters who can help them fill their jobs, and then they can do the same for their partners. So absolutely, people are extremely open, to working together, and they understand how the split network works. There is a lot of trust because we sometimes we share our client information, and you know how we recruiters are about all that. But I can
Yes.
tell you that I really didn't have any inhibitions doing that on the network.
And so Shree, how long was it? I think it was maybe a year before you attended your first event, or maybe so. How did you feel about the in-person events that
Yeah,
we would hold?
actually, it was not even a year, Drea. I think probably was 4 months, 4 or 5
Was it
months.
that soon?
Yes, it was, and I was, excited to do the go to the live event because a lot of times, obviously when you meet a person, your partnerships, in person, it really gives it a, more meaning, right? You get to know the person better than just on the phone. And also, there are a lot of recruiters you probably don't meet uh, over the phone, or you don't get a chance to meet them. But when you go to these live events, you do have the opportunity to meet with them. It could be somebody who's working a completely different domain, and then you get to interact with them. Um, and also, I looked at it as a learning experience, right? Because a lot of people in the network have done really well. So my goal was, how can we do the same thing, or how can we even be better than some of the others, right? So it's about learning what to do and what not to do, and how to really develop those partnerships. So the
So it
live,
also fed into your competitive nature because you had people to visibly compete with.
absolutely, yeah. We're competing with each other on the network, but at the same time,
And
we're
helping
able
each
to
other.
learn from each other. Yeah.
Right. Right. If you could go back to at the moment where you started to think about joining Top Echelon, and you could tell yourself something, what would that be?
What do you mean by that?
Like if you could go back to tell sure, go back to 2017 when you first joined,
Yeah.
is there some advice that you would give yourself to that, to I guess the words of
Yeah.
encouragement? If I could only have told myself this,
Right.
what could that have
Right.
been?
Okay. Yeah, the first thing is patience, right? Because when I joined the network, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start making my placement the second day that I joined the network. That was my expectations was unrealistic because you really need to develop those connections. You really need to understand what type of who's working what type of jobs, who could be a good partner, and how would you go about, with a strategy in terms of the types of jobs you would want to work on. You can't work on everything you see. So there was a learning curve. However, I can tell you it didn't really take me too long because once I was able to talk to some of the people and really look at the platform, see what types of jobs were being advertised, where the niche was, it was just a matter of time, to figure out who would be the right partner. So I would say, anything you do, um, you really have to understand what you're getting into, spend some time, understanding the platform in this case, and then see how you can strategize to maximize your effort. So that's the number one thing. And I think that is more because of my own nature. I want things to happen like yesterday. So that's the example that I can think of about me.
Sure. How important do you think it is for a person coming into the network to spend time building the relationships?
It's number one. I mean, that's the high priority because if you don't really develop these relationships, you're not going to be as successful as you want to be. That's the whole, that's the beauty of a split network, right? Uh, you're able to tap into resources that you probably do not have access to at the current time, which was the biggest motivating factor. So it's all about understanding who's on the network and what are they doing in terms of what kinds of jobs they're working, and talking to these partners and building that trust and also keeping in touch and delivering for them.
Thank you. That's great. I would agree, and that's the song I try to sing to everyone because it does make a difference. So, Shree, you've been using Big Biller for some time now. We now, to which we refer to as TE Recruit. Have you found that that's a very powerful tool to help you run your business?
Yeah, that's the only ATS we currently use, and every year there are upgrades, there are new bells and whistles that are being added, which really is making this ATS, I would say, robust, for our team. And let me also say this: I used to be a cats. That was our ATS for a very, very long time before we moved into Big Biller, which is TE Network. And at one point, I think we were using both these ATSs. Don't ask me why, because I think I loved cats and I didn't want to really let go of it. And then I was hoping that someday we would have an opportunity to integrate it, which happened. So that was the best thing,
It did,
you know.
didn't it?
Yeah,
It,
so finally we were able to migrate everything into Big Biller, TE Network, and yeah, I mean, I that's the only thing we use. And the best thing about it, if I can say this, because we are also members of the network, um, it's such a seamless way to share jobs,
yeah,
to share candidates, to receive candidates. Everything is done in like one spot, you know. So I don't have to go between two different systems. Everything is recorded real time. So if you're sending out an email, if a partner sends you a resume, it comes into your pipeline, which is beautiful because I can just look at my pipeline every day and see what resumes I have. And then any communication that we have with the candidates, they get recorded on that, right there. So I can go back anytime and look at, okay, when did I reach out to this candidate? So all of the things you would look for in an ATS, I think the TE network has that and more.
that's great to hear. And I'm sorry for jumping in here, but I just pulled up your old account in Cats actually and was as looking at it. And yeah, if only we had the integration with Top Echelon Network back in the day, because you signed up with Cats back in 2011, it looks like. Um,
Yeah.
we're using it for a while. So that's something I just wanted to kind of touch on really quickly is, we have built the Top Echelon Network integration into Cats. It's but it's nowhere close to what you would find with TE Recruit and their network integration. That their whole ATS TE Recruit is built with the network kind of embedded inside it. So it's so easy to share jobs, share candidates, see all those activities come back. That's kind of the idea behind this meeting, is to get people interested in the network, whether they're Cats customers or Top Echelon customers. Eventually we want people to give Top Echelon a try, because we think it does work best with the network, as you've described. So that was really cool to hear. I wanted to, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of the slideshow here at all, but
Go for it, Jeff.
I I wanted to like just jump and answer some like frequently asked questions that we get a lot for people that are maybe unfamiliar with the network. When we're talking about sharing jobs, sharing candidates, like that is, um, that's something that you choose to do. Just by joining the network, it doesn't mean that all of your jobs are automatically shared to everybody. Same with your candidates. So you have control over what you share, what you provide to the network, and what you give is kind of what you'll get back. But there's no, you're not signing a contract here that's going to say everything I have is all of a sudden part of the network. That's further from the truth. So just wanted to bring
That's a
that
good
out.
clarification, Jeff, because people do. I would freak out if that was the case.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? That's a good point. I was actually going to say that. So we use the T network as our ATS, right? Which is what I said. So all the jobs go into it, and we share. I mean, I have my recruiters, my sourcers who are part of it. So they, we are able to look at the jobs and work those where. However, when we are not, let's just say, we have a couple jobs in some remote place and we don't really have any candidates for, and we decide we want to really tap into the network, we're able to just pick only those jobs to, share with the network. So the ATS would do everything that probably does for you right now, but you have the ability to choose which ones you are going to share with the network. So it just
Yeah,
goes to what you just said, Jeff.
yeah.
That's how we do it.
What jobs do you need a little help with? And yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to touch on the in-person events that Shree has attended and that I've organized twice. We do this twice a year, and because I've asked it actually more, I'm asked if we do in-person events when I interview people more than I ever thought that we would, more than I ever thought that I would actually hear, because we've been doing it since 1988. But it's one of the things that we feel is extremely important, which is getting the recruiters together. Because if we have this community, it's an online community, and you can talk and share ideas and share jobs and everything. There's places for that in the software. But it's different when you're sitting across the table from someone and you're talking about strategies and business development strategies, and how you're going to plan and make your the next years to come successful. And Shree, wouldn't you agree that that's one of the valuable things of those events?
Yes, yes, and I want to share something. So when I first joined Top Echelon, obviously I was trying to figure out, how to navigate the platform, right? Because I wanted to make those placements right away. And then within the first 4 months, I think we had the global conference, I'm sorry, the national conference in Florida. And I
Mhm.
had the opportunity to attend. And there were speakers. We had these partners who were the top performers talking about their experience. That was a really great way for me to connect with some of those top performers. And the next thing that happened was one of them became a really good friend and ended up being a very strong partner on the network. And I think that same year we ended up probably making, I would like to say, at least 8 to 10 placements. And that would not have happened if I hadn't taken the time to go down there and really meet and understand, who could be a potential partner for our success. So that's just an example. I mean, it's endless. You can really you will have the opportunity to meet a lot of people and figure out who you want to work with, because you want to make sure that you are working with like-minded people, and there are plenty of them on the network.
Yeah, that's a true testimony, because I've heard that
And
story, similar story many times, that people made numbers of placements. They wouldn't have done that if they wouldn't have, first of all, joined the network, and let alone attended the conference. Jeff, you
and
brought something.
if we get enough cats customers interested in the network today, maybe they'll invite me to these conferences.
That's right. That's right. And so you can see here where we've got Danny Cahill speaking, who's, if you've not heard of Danny Cahill, you may be fairly new to the business. He's pretty much the one of the greatest trainers the industry has seen, and he's fantastic. Of course, we have so many. There are so many of them, but Danny he's a legend, and he'll be in Nashville at the Bankers Alley Hotel March 19th through the 21st, and the first half of the 19th, which is that's a Wednesday, we're doing a focus of training on TE Recruit software. So if you want to attend, you can join the network, or you don't even have to join the network. Just come to sign up for the convention. But that would be a great day. From 1 to 5, there's with a break, of course, where we go through the system and you get to learn really how to leverage the TE Recruit software to run your desk and the things that it can do for you. Then the days after that, there's a gala event and networking sessions and training by Danny on both the 20th and the 21st. But we do finish up at noon on that Friday, the 21st, so that you can either head 6 blocks down the road to Broadway and Nashville and hang out and see what the craziness is all about, or get on a plane early. So, but those are very vital to our business. Jeff, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh boy. I'd like to go to Nashville again. Like, I think the hands-on training aspect of it would be really cool. Obviously, we're doing our best to offer unlimited training as much as possible for CATS customers that are interested in TE Recruit. The world is your oyster. You can have one-on-one trainings with me. We have group trainings. We have a phone number you can call. So, like, if you are, interested in moving to TE Recruit, obviously the conference would be an amazing place to start. But
Sure would.
you could even just email us, and we'll get you started. We'll get you on that path to. We've done a lot of work over the past few years to making sure, and maybe Shree could even talk to this too, making sure that like the two systems are similar enough that it's familiar for you. The benefit is that TE Recruit has the network kind of baked into all of your jobs, all of your candidates. There are ways to easily share and see comments, whereas CATS, it's kind of like you send it over and you wait and see kind of what happens. It's an integration. It works in CATS, but Top Echelon, obviously, since they grew up with the network, it's intertwined with it. So
Symbiotic.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Right.
I totally agree. That's the huge advantage here. The other thing I want to say is the team at Top Echelon, um, not trying to suck up to Drea here, but they've been awesome. We have training Tuesdays, so if anybody has any questions, they always come up with some new tools. There's always like some sort of upgrades, updates, and I know it can be very overwhelming when you're running a full desk, but the ease of just listening to the webinars or going on the training every Tuesday, and even today, if I have any questions, and I need some help, the support people are awesome. I get a quick response. So I don't really feel like I'm by myself, when things like that happen. There's always a very strong support. And not just on the software side, but even on the network side. I can pick up the phone and call Drea. In fact, I did that very recently. I wanted to expand into a different domain that I haven't worked in many years. And I really didn't want to start hiring recruiters just to do that, right? So I was looking at who could be potential partners who can jump in right away and provide resumes for us. Andrea was the right person because he knows everybody, and he was able to point me in the right direction. And I've already built a couple of good partners in manufacturing, and we're working on several jobs together. So I mean, just the ease of, he talked about the feeling of, being part of a community. I would say, that's a 100% statement there because that's how the network works. Everybody's ready to work together, and also, with someone like Drea who's driving the network, it's really great because, he's able to give us the pointers that we need in order to do what we want to do. So I'm going to stop right there because I can go on and on.
Thank you, Shree. I appreciate that. Well, listen, so if for anyone else out, who's listening, glad that you're here. If you have questions, you can reach out to Jeff. You can reach out to me. You could also reach out to Melissa, whose contact information is right there. If you want to reach out to me, that's fine. My email is Drea, Drea, at topechelon.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn and shoot me a message. I'm not hard to find. I'm the only Drea Codispoti on LinkedIn, so it makes it easy.
Yeah, we are kind of all hands on deck for this conversation and this transition. So whoever you reach out to at CATS or Top Echelon, it will
Yep.
trickle back up to me and my team at this point. So whether that's Drea or just plain old support at cats1.com, whatever you want to use, you can reach me at jeff at cats1.com. We've got a big team here, hoping to make this happen. Did you want to talk about network incentives or anything for?
Yes, thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
Well, no, appreciate that. So
Because I would say you could go back to that page that shows the
yeah, I had that, and I'm like, how do I? There we go. So thank you. So any of the as far as an incentive, right? Because we want to bring you over from CATS into TE Recruit, and when you do that, when you do that, we have a special deal that we're running for you to make it, I guess, more enticing. Really, the reason any special package is put together in any sales situation, right? Don't need to sugarcoat it. Your recruiters, for crying out loud. But we give the first 3 months of the network free. They still have to do an interview with me, and but we're not going to charge you a startup fee or the first 3 months of that, which is really in total value $800.
And what is the normal startup fee?
The normal startup fee is $350.
Gotcha.
And then your monthly, there's the monthly fees are $150. If you pay for a year in advance, it's $1620, which breaks down to $135 per month. But that first 3 months, is vital, and it's actually prime time for someone to really get in and get some activity moving. So by the end of that 3-month period that you haven't paid for, it will end up being quite lucrative if you're doing it. And I get the question all the time, well, how long does it take for me to make placements in the network? And I said, well, it's the same question you would ask your personal trainer when you go to the YMCA and you start working out. It's like, how much do I have to do before I start losing weight and getting into shape? It's like, well, you got to start making it a part of your daily routine and doing it and getting in there.
But we do have personal trainers for you.
Yes, we do.
And that is kind of our goal, is to, make sure that you see the value of the network in those first month or 2 or 3, make sure that you're getting a placement. Right. It's our goal to make sure that everybody in the network sees that success early on, because it just contributes kind of to the strength of the network overall.
That's true, Jeff.
And I wanted to just like talk about the pricing again, because this is similar to questions I've been asked about the CATS to Top Echelon transition. It's exactly what you can expect here. There would be no fee to join. Obviously, you have to pass an interview with Drea, which I think a lot of you would. But there would be no pricing change from CATS to Top Echelon. There would be no additional fees moving to CATS to Top Echelon. This is something that we are undertaking to provide you with the best software you can have. So we think it's in your best interest to take a look at this, and we're just trying to really sweeten the pot here. And if you're interested in the network, let's throw that on top too, because we want people to look at Top Echelon. We value our CATS customers, and because of that, we've taken our time to really make the softwares almost similar. It's like, I won't say they're exact, but at the end of the day, an applicant tracking system is an applicant tracking system. I've worked on both for the past 4 or 5 years, and I can tell you that you're not going to miss really anything moving to Top Echelon. We just want you to give it a shot. And on top of that, there's this network thing that we've been talking about for the last half hour that is just an additional huge benefit, and something that isn't available in CATS, or not nearly close to what's available in Top Echelon. So yeah, I'll shut up now.
No, that's great. I appreciate the color, Jeff, and the context. You're spot on with all of it. Well, that's all I have. And Shree, anything else to add?
I just have one thing to add, which we really didn't talk about. So we talked about using the network to share our jobs so we can get extra support, right? But I can tell you that I actually got a check in the mail from one of my partners on because he was able to place our candidate. So it goes both ways, right? So it's not
Mhm.
about just promoting your job. When you have a database of candidate network, you may not have a job for that particular person, but somebody in the network might. So if they have access to that candidate and they're able to interview them for their job, you're pretty much getting, a split fee for doing nothing. And that happened very recently, and I was pleasantly surprised. Obviously, I'm not going to not want that check, but I'm just saying, so there's an other side of being part of the network. It's not just about sharing the jobs, it's also about using your ATS, if you want to share your candidates that you're unable to place, could result in a placement,
Right.
and you're really not doing a whole lot for that because the partner is taking the candidate and, obviously running with that process while keeping you informed, you know, through that process. So I think that's something that I wanted to just mention.
And that happens often.
Yeah, and that pays for your ATS fees for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you make one placement, which you were not expecting, pretty much pays for everything for the network as well as for the ATS. So
Yeah. One placement certainly pays for itself for quite some time. Definitely. Thank you for that, Sherry. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Jeff, I think that's a wrap, as they say in Hollywood.
Lovely. We actually only had one question come in, and I'll just handle it. Well, maybe it is worth talking about for the greater group. Let's just get the elephant out of the room. The question was, do you plan to sunset CATS? Yes and no. It's a tough question. I mean, we think we think we have a better solution with Top Echelon and Top Echelon Network. There was a reason CATS was acquired 4 years ago. We've dedicated a lot of resources to Top Echelon over the past few years, including myself and many of the dev team on CATS that moved over and tried to recreate a lot of popular CATS features, such as the workflow, the career portal, application forms. Those all exist now in Top Echelon, and Top Echelon is kind of taking it to the next level. They're doing things that CATS can't do. They're playing around with AI, whether that's an email or constructing a Boolean search for you. They're playing around with email sequencing, giving it kind of a true CRM feature set where you can enroll people in, sequenced emails and do some business development. So there's right now, I would say, if you're happy with cats, we love you. That's awesome. We'd still like you to take a look at Top Echelon because we think that's where kind of the future is. Cats will be around probably forever, but at the same time, it's not where our development resources are focused. So it's a tough question to answer. We're early on in the new year here, but our goal is to approach a lot of you guys and migrate to Top Echelon over the course of the year. We're going to work with you hand in hand to make it seamless and make it easy. As Shree already mentioned, we have phone numbers, we have live chat, we have trainings. We're doing twice weekly trainings actually for new cats customers. So in addition to however many individual training sessions you need, we we want to make this happen. We want to, but we're not going to force anybody right now. Maybe that sounds a little ominous, but that's kind of our mentality. We're trying to hear from you and take all this feedback and see what it is that maybe you have concerns about. So all of the emails that Drea had mentioned before still apply. You can reach out to literally anybody, any email you have at Top Echelon. It's going to trickle back up to me eventually, and I'm happy to talk about it and talk about your account and what it looks like, because we understand it's an important conversation, and this is just one way. This webinar today is just one way that we are showing you maybe the grass is greener in Top Echelon, and but we want to make sure that it is for you. So yeah, it's a long answer to a short question, and I was typing out the answer, and then I just realized maybe a lot of people have this question too, so figured I would just answer it out loud. But yeah, that's the only question we got. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for everybody that attended the webinar. You should be getting a recorded version in about 24 hours. Basically, once I end the webinar, that starts the clock, and you'll get an email 24 hours from now with the recorded version if you needed to leave or wanted to share it with anybody. Like I already said, though, there's any way that you guys want to reach out to us. It's Drea, me, support anywhere. We'll hear about it. We are a big team, but we are a small team, and we talk a lot. So we
do.
hoping to hear from you.
We communicate very heavily in our office.
But yeah, thanks everybody, and let's look at getting me my ticket to Nashville. Yeah, that's all we have today. So thanks again, everyone. I see people are already starting to trickle out, so we won't hold anybody any longer. And thank you all, and have a great rest of the day.
All right, take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shree.
Thank you.